This is Presentation 3, Power and Influence in Working Teams, for Leadership 533, Professor William Clark, done by Ted Fluck. Powerful leaders are usually extremely persuasive and can easily influence others to buy into their purpose. In general, power is connected to credibility and influence. When you're influencing people, you're capturing their hearts and moving them. But not everyone knows what to do with their power once they have it. Power tends to get to people's heads, says Nicole Lipkin, author of What Keeps Leaders Up at Night. We're really not trained to handle power well, says Jiang 2013. Each leader can shape events by wielding their power and influence. All power can be useful too, but it is vital to discuss how a leader uses this power that affects the team's success. There are 7 bases of power, under 3 main categories to compare and contrast. The main categories are formal, personal, and proximal. In the presentation, the following will take place: discuss the categories of power, review formal power, understand personal power, discover proximal power, lastly, in the conclusion, to review how a leader will implement these powers to gain influence over his or her team. The first form of personal powers is the positional power, otherwise known as title power. Positional power comes from having a position of power in an organization, such as being a boss or the key member of a leadership team. Titles such as vice president and director will inherently wield power over the night manager. This power comes when employees in the organization recognize the authority of the individual. For example, a CEO who determines the overall direction of the company and the resource needs of the company innately has power over the entire organization. The second form of formal power comes from having the authority to implement force. Coercive power is displayed through the fear of losing a promotion, possibly an annual performance bonus, or even a job. Coercion is the use of force, threats, or punishment in order to force a decision. While coercion may be effective in the end result, those who are coerced most likely did not change their belief or their attitude. Coercion nearly always makes the instigator look bad, and the threatened people will usually push back. Jiang states in her article 7 powers leaders can use for good or evil that, ultimately, you can't build credibility with a coercive influence. You can think of it like bullying in the workplace. No matter how good of a leader you are, if you're wielding coercive power, you're leading with fear, and this won't win the respect or the loyalty from your employees for very long. The opposite power of coercion is the reward power. This is the third and final formal power. Those who can motivate people to respond in order to earn bonuses, promotions, and accolades will hold reward power. Reward power is passed through rewarding the team for compliance with the leader's desires. For example, the supervisor who provides employees comp time when they meet an objective they set for a task. These powers are held with the authority. However, Adler makes it clear that other members can give their own rewards. These come from forms of social payoffs, such as increased goodwill, and task-related benefits, like volunteering assistance during a job. When reward power shifts away from those with authority to provide for their financial or career payoffs, we start to move towards the second category of power, which is personal power. Personal power is earned by those who receive the power from others, as opposed to the formal powers, which is given by control or authoritative position. There are 2 forms of personal power, expert and referent power. Expert power comes directly from your professional skills and possibly the years of experience one has in a position. Knowledge that is earned from an advanced degree cannot be taken away, and colleagues give power to those who hold that knowledge. As a professional gains experience in a particular area and becomes the thought leader in those areas, they begin to build expert power that can be utilized to get others to help meet their goals. Referent power is given to those that are most trusted and respected. Referent power is gained when others respect a leader for how they handle the situations. In The Ethics of Leadership, reference power is said to be the most important and real power that leaders should adopt, because it's all about the quality of the relationship developed with others and how those relationships are built. It is important for leaders to maintain integrity and honesty in all their persuasive efforts. In the Boundless 2014 article, it also discusses that ethical persuasion is the foundation of referent power and has 3 components: the exploration of the other person's viewpoint, the explanation of your viewpoint, and the creation of resolutions. Ethical persuasion will build trust and respect, the foundation of referent power, and according to Sherry Baker and Dave Martinson, must have the following components: truthfulness of the message, authenticity of the persuader, respect for the audience, and equity of the persuasive appeal. The last two types of communication are in the category of proximal. They both can carry influence and power, however, may be less earned than the personal power and more temporary than the formal powers. The last two powers are informational and connection power. Informational is short-term power that typically will not earn influence or build credibility. For example, a team leader may have all the information for a specific project, and that will give them informational power. It is specific to the task at hand, and if they keep all the information to themselves, they will hold all of the power. However, it is not likely a person to keep this power, as eventually this information will be let out. This should not be a long-term strategy. Connection power is the final power and is a proximal power because this power creates influence by who you know. Adler states the old adage, "It's not what you know, but it's who you know," and that has merit and truth. Connection power is maintained by proxy and networking. You can attain this power by connecting with people with complementary skills and gathering teams together for people that you work with. The 7 various types of power clearly have a strong effect on working teams. Leaders must be able to develop all the possible types that they can and use them in the proper circumstances. A young leader must develop what they can control, such as their connection power and expert power through hard work, networking, and study. Even informal leaders can use their praise and favor as reward powers within their team to earn more goodwill. If a young leader develops these skills, they will earn the respect of their peers and, in turn, wield more referent power. These powers are the strongest and most important for a leader to possess. A professional who works with these personal and proximal powers will, in time, earn promotions. These opportunities will allow the leader to gain the authority to have control and information to manage large teams. At this point, their influence and persuasive techniques should never focus on their having earned their positional power. Rather, leaders should always work in the personal power that they have earned. It is here where true connections are made and the rewards given to those who work for them are truly mean the most.